Dom Santiago was the heart and soul of the original Gears of War trilogy, known for his outright loyalty to Marcus, whilst fighting his own demons and battles. Unfortunately, after losing his wife and everything he was fighting for, Dom left us in one of the saddest deaths in video game history. But what if this wasn't the case? Well, I'm your host Abz, and let's discuss what if Dom survived Gears of War 3. After his wife Maria's death, Dom began having physical and mental troubles, being unable to accept closure, which many around him noticed, and he generally withdrew himself from the company of others, taking on gardening as a hobby. So, Dom by this point was already mentally dying after everything he had been through. So in my opinion, Maria's and Dom's deaths are intertwined, because Dom lost everything he was fighting for. So if Dom was to survive, we would have to assume that Maria survived in Gears of War 2 as well. So in this what if scenario, when Marcus and Dom found Maria in the torture pod, Maria wouldn't have been lobotomized, as perhaps she could have been recently put there, with the Locust having other orders, so not having time to process her. This would lead to Marcus recalling Baird and Cole to take Maria back to the surface, along with the other stranded, back to safety, while Marcus and Dom went deeper into the Hollow, into Nexus. From there, Gears of War 2 would end the same way it did, probably with less of a personal heartfelt touch, as Dom's storyline was an anchor in Gears 2's story. So at the end of the game you don't see him looking at the photo with Maria, because he knows that she's still alive, and being evacuated safely. So from here, Dom would go into Gears of War 3, not being as mentally traumatized, and would have probably played a larger role, being more of a focal point ahead of some of the newer characters. But when they go to Mercy in this alternate timeline to find fuel, there would be no Maria grave to go to, as she is of course still alive. So he would keep his COG tags with him, but still pay respects to the rest of Maria's family. But once Dom, Marcus and everyone else are about to reunite with Dizzy and Chase, they come under attack by a massive amount of Locust, before Lambent forces also join the fray. But just like the real timeline, there are way too many Locust and Lambent, and as badass as they are as soldiers, they didn't have the firepower to hold them all off. So, in this situation, either someone miraculously comes to their aid, which is highly unlikely because the COG was disbanded, Hoffman was still at Anvil Gate, Cole and Baird went to find reinforcements, so there was no chance someone was going to save them. Someone was going to die in this situation. They could have all died right there, and therefore Marcus and Cole wouldn't have been able to end the Locust War. But this is where it all makes sense for Dom to sacrifice himself in the plot, as he loved Marcus and was always loyal to him no matter what. He had to be there for him and help him save the world. Therefore he had to do this, to save his brother and help save humanity. But what if Dom didn't sacrifice himself? Then it may have been Anya who sacrificed herself for Marcus. Would it have been as iconic and remembered as Dom? Probably not, since Dom was always in the spotlight throughout the trilogy. But if this was the case, then Dom would help Marcus put an end to the Locust War, brothers to the end, after Anya sacrificed herself so that the others could carry on the mission. With the war ending with the Locust and the Lambent being destroyed, Marcus and Dom look into the sunset, joined by Cole and Baird a few seconds later. OG Delta Squad is reunited on the beach, whilst Baird looks at his disc that Adam Phoenix gave to him. They become the 4 founding fathers of the new COG on Sarah. Baird dreams of his space travel plans, since he knows Sarah is in ruins, wanting to colonize the planet of Rosea. Marcus remembers his father's words, no regrets, no looking back. Cole uses his larger-than-life personality to instill enthusiasm back into the few survivors of the war, motivating them to help rebuild humanity, whilst Dom is happy to be reunited with Maria. The 4 brothers of Delta Squad survive the Locust War and keep the gears turning. But rest assured, if any problems do occur, Delta Squad will be ready to kick some ass. So that, my friends, is my take on what if Dom survived in Gears of War 3. Let me know what you think of this alternate timeline and your take on this. Drop a like if you enjoyed this lore video, subscribe for more similar content like this, and I'll leave a link at the top right of the screen if you want to watch my other lore videos as well. I'm your host Abz, and as always, I will catch you guys next time.